Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. ESPN Trivia Night is a trivia game with a dexterity element for 2 to 10 players, where 2 teams are trying to get 4 points in baseball, basketball, hockey, football, and all sports. Each round, teams will be drafting what sport and how difficult from 1 to 3, and they're each worth different points depending on the difficulty. Then teams will be asked those cards that they've been given. For example, all sports 2 points, they'll be asked this question. If they get it right, they get 2 points. If they get it wrong, they'll place an instant replay token on that sport. After each team's had 3 questions, they select a sport to do a challenge with, like getting the baseball into the strike zone, or the football right through the uprights, or shooting right into the net for hockey, or right through the hoop for basketball. Now you're only doing that for 1 sport each round, but if for each successful shot you move up in the score. The first to get 4 in all of them wins the game. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, ESPN Trivia Night. I like that it has all the major sports, plus cool things like mascots and all sports selecting different things. The drafting element becomes more strategic as the game goes on as to which sport and how many points that is for. The dexterity element brings stand-up moments for sure as you switch the basketball, kick it through the uprights right at the right time to win the game, or even catch back up. Lots of cool moments there. Lots of questions, 1,000 of them for a lot of replayability. On the negative side of things, true sports trivia buffs will probably not like the dexterity element because they want to just show that they know more than you. Because it often does come down to dexterity. This isn't going to make you like sports trivia if you don't already, and you need to be able to take this game lightly and not be too competitive with the trivia because the dexterity element really swings things. If you're looking for a fresh take on sports trivia, and take it lightly and have some fun, I think you'll enjoy it. Otherwise, it's probably a pass for you. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're diving into sports like football, baseball, basketball, hockey, other sports, teams and mascots. Today we're going to be taking a look at a trivia game that's different from most I've seen before. This is ESPN Trivia Night, and it mixes trivia with some interesting dexterity elements. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. 2 to 10 players will split up into 2 teams, the red team and the black team. The first team to get 4 points in each of these areas will win. We have football, baseball, ice hockey, basketball, and all sports. Now you'll be getting points by answering trivia questions, but you'll also be getting them by completing different dexterity challenges. Now the game is played over multiple rounds. Each round, 6 cards will be randomly placed out here, and each team is going to draft 1 at a time. One team is the first player for each round, and they swap each round. So we have different things like football, ice hockey, basketball, but we have all sports, logos and mascots, and seen on screen. And there's also the other sports there too, like baseball and things like that. So what happens is teams are going to draft cards. So if I'm really good at football, the most you can get is 3 points. So 1 point is going to be an easy question, 2 points will be a medium question, and 3 points will be a hard question. But if you get this right, you'll get 3 of the 4 points you need for football. So maybe we're really good at football, we draft this card. The next team goes, you know what, let's start off easy. Let's just say logos and mascots, and they draft this one. So teams will draft back and forth until all 6 cards are gone, which means each team is going to have 3 cards. So let's say these are the 3 cards our team drafted. Let's say we're the first team to go. We will select which one of these we want to be asked first. Let's say we say logos and mascots, and it says choose a sport. So let's say we want baseball, okay? So we say baseball under logos and mascot for 1 point. Now this game comes with 1,000 questions, and it has separators here. So we have sort of all sports and baseball, basketball, football, hockey. I think that's mascots, and then seen on screen. So there's tons of questions here. Now there's no way for me to not spoil at least one question here or a few of them because the answers are right here and I can't cover them really. And so the other team would take the logos and mascots. We chose baseball, so they would read the baseball question. Which MLB team features a silhouette of its city skyline in the logo? Now all the questions are multiple choice. So they'll say Seattle Mariners, Detroit Tigers, New York Mets. Well, the red one is the right one. So if we were asked that question, if we got it right, said New York Mets, then we would have gotten the 1 point. So let's talk about this if we got it right or wrong. So again, because that one was a 1 point and we had chosen baseball, if we got it right, we put this right to 1. Again, if we get to 4, we're pretty much done with baseball. However, if we got it incorrect, we would not have moved that. We would have placed an instant replay token on the baseball section of the board. This is going to come into play. This is red because we're the red team. This will come into play at the end of the round because this is going to tell us how many chances we have at different dexterity challenges to earn points. So for example, let's say the other players, they had picked the basketball and they got it incorrect. They would place it here as well. And then it comes back to us. We get to select one of our other 2 cards. So maybe we select all sports for 2 points. So they'll ask us one of those. Now I'm not going to give this one away. Play along with me. This is an all sports card. Again, there's 1, 2, or 3 points. We're playing at 2.1. We would be asked this question, which is, which Olympic gold medalist won 10 world titles in 6 weight classes before retiring from boxing in 2009? Is it Oscar De La Hoya, Muhammad Ali, Michael Spinks, or David Reed? You tell me right now which one you think it is. Is it Oscar De La Hoya, Muhammad Ali, Michael Spinks, or David Reed? Well, the correct answer is Oscar De La Hoya. And there's all different sports. There's things about ping pong and volleyball and all sorts of things in this. And by the way, all of these are double-sided. That's what helps you get to 1,000 trivia questions. And because it was 2 points, let's say we got it right, we would go to 2. Now, if we were already at 2, we would go to 4, and we'd pretty much be done with all sports. Now let's say both teams have already done their 3 questions, and so it's the end of the round. Now let's say the team with the black chips, they got all 3 questions wrong. They got 1 on basketball and 2 of them wrong on football, and we got 1 wrong on baseball. Now each team gets to add 1 more instant replay to anywhere. So let's say we do this, and let's say, you know what, we want to get another chance at baseball here, and we go like that. Then starting with the first team, they get to select a sport that they have at least 1 on, and they're going to do that challenge. The red team, well, we're just going to do baseball. And after we're done, this team's going to select either basketball or football, and let's say they select football. So let's show you how all these different things work. Now you put the back of the box here with the crowd, and in this case we're putting baseballs with the baseball plate at the end of this long board at the edge here. And further up here we have basketball, baseball, hockey, and football, and that's where you'd shoot from. So we've got to shoot from behind this line, which is the 8 where the baseball is. Now, so we'll take this little felt and we'll put it right up against this line like that. And then we're going to take the baseball and we're going to basically put it like this. And then each team has one of these cool little thick ESPN tokens here, and you're going to use this almost like tiddlywinks to push down on this and flip it and trying to hit it into the strike zone. All right, let's see how we do here. Ooh, almost. It just knocked right off. Well, we still have 1 left on baseball. This is the sport we're playing this instant replay round, so we would remove this and take another shot. Now, if we had gotten the shot, we would have went up 1 on baseball. If that had gotten us to 4 and we still had tokens here, we can move these, even if there's multiple of them, to different sports that will help us in future rounds. All right, let's try to take another shot. Here's our last token. Yes, strike! So in that case, yeah, boom, we're on 1 on baseball. And then it would be the other team, and let's say they try to, with football. Now here you're just trying to kick it through the field goal posts. Oh, it hit the upright and went to the right, but that's pretty much how that one works. Now they'd keep using up their tokens for football until they're out, or they'd score 4 points, whichever happens first. But let me just show you the other ones. This is hockey. We are trying to get it right into the goal. This one's hard because you can't go too hard. Oh, I just missed it to the left. Oh, and we score! The crowd goes wild. Now for basketball, you want to get it in the hoop, but it also says to sort of fold this back to give it a little bit more launch. So you gotta get it a little bit higher on this one. Oh, almost. Let's try again here. Oh, and it's in! At this point, you'd see if anybody won with having 4 at all the different spots, and if so, they win. If it's tied, you go into sudden death. Otherwise, you start a new round, shuffling up, going to the deck, putting out 6 new draft cards to draft, and continue going till everyone has this. All right, let me first tell you about the things that I did like about the game. First of all, I like that it has all the major sports in America, of course, and then plus it has sort of the mascots, which is kind of a cool little fringe thing, and it has sort of all sports where you get to choose which one you want. I like the idea of that, just generally speaking from a high level. I like the drafting element. It's interesting because the cards that you might want to draft might work out great. At the beginning, you're kind of just going with what you know. Hey, I'm really good at this sport. Let's get 3 of this if it's there. I'm not very good at that one. Let's get a 1 of that one if it's there. But as the game goes on, you're like, oh, look, we're 2 away from hockey. We're not great at hockey, but if we get this 2, we'll get it right off the bat and be able to finish it there. So there is some strategy as to which cards you're taking, which ones you're drafting, and that's a little bit different from sort of a mass market trivia game. So it gets more strategic as the game goes on. I like that aspect of it. The dexterity element definitely brings like stand-up moments to the game where like, I mean, you saw how excited I got when I made my shots there, and I wasn't even playing the game. Like, I'm like, if you're in the game and you're like 1 down and you hit this thing in, you score, like everyone's gonna be high-fiving, and it has like these sort of stand-up moments, which are pretty cool. There's a ton of questions here, double-sided cards, lots of different categories, and lots of different 3 different levels of each one. So 1,000 questions, plenty of questions to have a lot of replayability value here. And so overall, I think it's a fresh take at a mass market trivia game. On the negative side of things, true sports trivia buffs, they might just dislike the dexterity element. They're gonna be like, well, I'm here for a trivia game. I don't want all this baloney. Just I want to talk trash. I want to say I know more than you, and I want it to work. I don't want to lose because you can tiddlywink better than me. So true trivia buffs are probably not gonna like that aspect of it. And because it does oftentimes come down to the dexterity as to who wins, right? And you've got to be okay knowing that. So if you go into this, and by the way, if you don't like sports, obviously this doesn't matter. You're not going to enjoy this game unless you're in the room while other people are playing and you're really good at the dexterity element and you want to go in for the team and pinch hit, so to speak, and do things for them. You might not like the trivia aspect, but you might like the dexterity element. Maybe you practice that offline and you come in as a teammate and you're just really good at like nailing down the swishing in the basketball, right? So you could play this if you don't like sports, but you won't be as engaged during the trivia time, right? So it's not gonna make you enjoy trivia games, or it's not gonna make you enjoy sports if you don't like those. If you go into this taking it lightly and not too competitive, I think you'll have a good time with it. But if you're too serious on either end, it's not gonna be a good fit for you. So I think it's an interesting take at a genre that I welcome that. It's not going to be for everybody, that's for sure, but for those that like sports and those that want to have just a loose trivia game that's light, I think it's one that you want to check out, and that's ESPN Trivia Night. Hello, my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today it's all about the... Uh-oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Ooh. It's still there. Okay. Oh, it came anyway. Jeez.